I am a massage therapist, and you may be wondering what the link is between massage and stretching. So to start off the video, I'm going to go ahead and show you using my forearm and silly putty. So here's my forearm. The muscles of my forearm attach here, and then they turn into ligaments, which attach to the end of my fingers. If I want to stretch my forearm, I go like this, which is basically pulling one end of my muscles as far as I possibly can from the other end of my muscles. Let me show you it on the silly putty. Grab this end, and I stretch it out. And as you can see, it's not like a perfectly even stretch. You get some lumps in there and things. So that's kind of what stretching does for your muscles. It's very good. It gives them lengthening and kind of reduces the pain you're going to get from tight muscles. Whereas when I massage, you can see my forearm going all along that muscle. You can even see my fingers curling in. The muscles are being pulled on, so it's almost like I'm flexing. And so what does that look like on the silly putty? Instead of grabbing one end and going like that, I am basically taking a rolling pin and rolling it out. So we're getting like it's basically like a really good stretch that's getting everywhere for the muscle. So there you go. That's how massage is like stretching. In my education to become a massage therapist, I learned all things muscles. I learned about how they can cause someone pain. I learned about how to reduce that pain. I learned all the physiological things about muscles. And since stretching is another way to help loosen muscles, help reduce that pain, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the group stretching in Animal Crossing and what that does for your body, what benefits it's having there, what areas of the body each movement is helping. But before we go into that, I want to talk about the history of group stretching in Japan and in Animal Crossing. In Japan, this group stretching is called Reijō Taozo, which means just radio exercises. And these started back in the 1920s when a post office insurance worker was in America. They saw that an insurance company there was running these morning exercises. They would play a piano in the background on the radio and then instruct exercises, and that was just supposed to help the people of the city be a little bit healthier. So they took it back to Japan and they instituted it as sort of like a military training type thing of like getting ready physically for the military, because they were a little bit into conquering back then, if you didn't know. Anyway, so they end up getting conquered in their attempts to get conquered by the US, and then they're like, let's stop being super militaristic. It gets canceled for a while. Then in the 50s, they bring it back, but they bring it back to be playful and just to be about exercise, not conquering the rest of the world. And since then, Reijō Taozo has been kind of part of Japanese life. Of course, not everyone is forced to do it, but it comes on in the morning radio about 6:30 a.m. every day, and people can participate in it, and it comes on at other points of the day, or people can do it in their workplace or at school, and it's just kind of part of the culture. So group stretching is not the first time we've seen Reijō Taozo in Animal Crossing. It was actually in the original Animal Crossing as morning aerobics, and I was so excited with the 2.0 update video when they had this group stretching, because I made a list of things I wanted them to bring back from old games into New Horizons before New Horizons came out, and morning aerobics is one of them, so I was very excited when they had it. And on top of that, they had it so you could do the movements with them in real life. I thought that was so cool, and it really truly is. Anyway, I'm done with the gushing. It's just really cool that they brought it forward and they made it, you can move along with it. Anyway, originally morning aerobics happened from the end of July to the end of August, and they were at 6 a.m. until 7 a.m. None of this choose when you want to do it. You had to be up and on Animal Crossing, and if you went 14 times and talked to Tortimer and got your card stamped, he would give you a little radio that you could bring to your house and do the songs and exercises in your house with, which is pretty cool. But mostly it was just super cute to see Copper conducting all the villagers, and they're all doing it, and if they mess up they like panic. It's so cute. Okay, now on to talking about group stretching in the current Animal Crossing New Horizons. So group stretching has a lot of benefits. The specific stretches have different benefits for different muscles and for your posture and things, so I'll go into that later and while we view each exercise. But I want to talk about general benefits first. Obviously, all these exercises have your basic benefits of moving, That's what's awesome. They're getting you up and moving, which is so good for your body. No one really talks about this, but the other like big liquid in your body besides blood is lymph, and it's just kind of what fills everything else where there's a space where there's not blood or other tissues. It's lymph, and it's just floating around. It kind of picks up all the waste in your interstitial tissues and things. But the only way to get that lymph back up to the lymph nodes to get back into the bloodstream and get all that waste filtered is through movement. The pumping system is your muscles and moving. If you don't move, your lymph doesn't really move as much. And you're also getting your blood pumping, which is really good in the morning. It takes a little while for your body to like warm up. And if you're sitting, it warms up even slower. So if you get up and you do movements like these, like it gets that blood moving through your body faster and gets your body to wake up faster and get your brain working faster. So you can be more productive, more just feeling better in general. Like movement is so good for getting your body to feel better. Anyway, those are the general benefits along with everything that comes with movement. I'm gonna let myself take it away on what each of the specific stretches are doing. I hope I don't bumble too much and I hope everything makes sense. Start off the group stretching. They have us walk in place, reach our arms up and slowly bring them down. What I would say this is doing, now the walking in place, honestly, it's not like doing a lot of stretching for you. It kind of forces you to stand up straight, just doing arm stuff so you're not slumping or anything like that. And this little movement just gets that blood flowing and the lymph flowing, and you can already start to feel the effects of movement even more so than when you're walking. So that measured bringing your arms up and down, that's a really good posture movement. When it comes to stretching, you might be getting your lats a little bit there at the end, but not much. I think it's just more stability and posture training and getting your back to where it should be. A lot of us are used to, always doing things in front of us, so our arms are rolled forward a little bit, pecs are getting tight, and just that like, bring your arms back is really helpful. In fact, from always having our arms in front of us and our pecs being tight, we end up putting a lot of stress on our upper back, like it's getting stretched out all the time, but not in like a good way, but in like a de-strengthening it as it's being bullied by our tight pecs. So just bringing it back, bringing some strength back into those back muscles and like getting them where they're supposed to be instead of stretched out all the time. That is good for your posture overall in the long run. All right, and we keep it up with the leg thing, everything I said before. And now we're doing arm circles. They do this like back and forth, which is cool. In school, we always just did like arm circles one way, but they do one arm circle and then back the other way. I really do think that's better than just the all in one way. I would say when it comes to stretching, you're really not doing this crazy range of motion, but most of us aren't used to holding our arms like this for very long. So you are getting those upper back building benefits as you go around. I can feel like my upper back tightening in ways it normally doesn't. And maybe we're pulling on those pecs a little bit that are always rolled in a little too much. I think if you're regular doing this, this would help with upper back pain. On to our next exercise. I really love this one. It's the side bend. I don't know if I love this one because I just need it in my life a lot right now. So we're doing over, and there's this little rest thing. I don't think the rest thing does anything. It's just kind of a fun keeping with the tempo. And then over to the other side. So what are these side bends doing for you? These are great for just releasing everything along your sides. I'm really tight right now, like it's really, really bad just because I was pregnant for 9 months and I've been carrying a baby for 3 months. So I literally feel that all down my back. It's so bad. So what's that doing? It's loosening all those muscles in between your ribs, which gives you more room to breathe. And I think it's also helping with your lats right through here, especially with the arm raise. That really targets your lats. Your lats pull your arm down and back like that. So doing opposite of what they do, that really stretches them out. Your lats, they connect all over your sacrum and then up through here. So when they're tight, you got a lot of issues they're gonna cause. So doing that side bend, definitely, I think it's gonna help loosen this up and then also help with low back pain. All right, now we're doing twists. And I'm used to in PE just like having your arms like this and doing them, but they have you going like, I still haven't gotten quite the hang of it. You do these upper motions, lower motions, and I really like it. I feel like it's hitting my low back a little more. I feel like an idiot because I haven't gotten it quite down yet, and I'm so used to just kind of hunkering down and going like this, but I think those diagonal reaches up and down are really hitting a lot harder than what I'm used to of just like doing this as a kid. That movement basically mobilizes your whole back. It's really nice. You got that twisting of the spine, which normally we don't twist our spines that much, so it's good to be mobilizing that whole thing. Then adding in those diagonal parts, it's stretching even further. A great move for mobilizing your back, which a lot of us, our backs are very stiff. You're supposed to individually be able to mobilize your vertebrae, but I'm really bad, and most people are really bad. Most people, their vertebrae move in clumps, so like 3, 4 get stuck together instead of being able to individually roll. Next up we have the bend down, touch your toes, and then open your arms. Oh my gosh, this is so nice. I've been neglecting my body for the last year, so I need this. Most people probably need this. So what are these doing? This bend down and do your toes. That is really hitting your hamstrings. And we are also getting a little bit of the glutes with that twist and a little bit of our low backs by just leaning to the side a little bit instead of going straight down. Then what is that opening wide thing doing? Because you could just be like, 1, 2, up, 1, 2. I like that they have the little things in between because it does give you a little break between the movement and feels more relaxing and less like, you know? So what does opening your arms up like this do for you? This is just, you're tightening your back and you're stretching those pecs out. So they're always tight. These guys are always beat up. Strengthening that so they can put up with your pecs beating up on them all day. Really good for reducing that upper back pain, basically. Alright, and moving on to the next part, we have around the world. So we're going one way, and then we go the other way. I mean, that's just a good full range of motion. You're going, bending your spine all the ways it can be bent all the way around. I think that's real good for your low back. And just all of them that do this upward reaching is nice. Just because we aren't normally reaching straight up, a lot of it is like reaching for something in front of us, if we're even reaching up. And just getting that like lengthening of everything along here as you put your arms up. So that's good. So we're doing some jumps, then some jacks, then some more jumps. But I would say that's more getting the cardiovascular benefits of getting your heart going a little bit more in that last second and really just spreading the lymph through your body and getting everything in your body circulating. And then finally we have back to this, which I've already talked about. It's just a good cool down right after you did that big movement. And we're done. So there you go, what each group stretch is doing for your body, for your muscles, your bones, and all that. And my general impression of group stretching and how they laid it out, how do I think it's going, if it works well, I give it a big thumbs up. It gets your blood moving. It only takes 3 minutes, and I could really feel like everything moving through my body, the blood, the lymph just starting to flow and move through. I know that sounds hippy-dippy and dumb, but like, it's true. Try it. You feel just like your body waking up and moving. I also think it does a great job of just stretching out your trunk in a lot of places that don't get the stretches and the love they need. And also just improving your posture, bringing your arms back, which is huge. People need their arms brought back more, and strengthening that upper back so you get less upper back pain. Oh, I would say the biggest downside to group stretching, as it is in New Horizons, is that it's kind of hard to pick up on. I wonder if in Japan they're just so used to like the movements that it's easy peasy, but as someone who's not used to it, I feel like I spend most of the time being like, wait, what am I doing now? What am I doing now? Instead of focusing on doing it the best I possibly could. And then by the time you're like, okay, I think I've got it. I think I've got it. They're like, next one. And you're like, oh, okay, what am I doing now? I also feel like you're distracted from doing the exercise as well because you're focused on keeping pace with everyone else. I would recommend just doing the exercises the best you can and not paying attention to what everyone else is doing. Good advice for life in general. That being said, I've only done it like 5 times, actually holding the controllers in my hand and moving, so I think maybe around 10 times I'll get it down and be a pro at keeping up with everyone else. I would say the biggest downside of the Animal Crossing group stretching is it's not targeting your neck at all. I don't know if that's the case for original radio exercises, if they didn't target your neck at all, but like just something that was like rolling your neck like this or something could be helpful, because next to upper back pain, neck pain is the thing I get the most complaints about from clients. So it would be nice to get something to focus on the back, but I'm just assuming in Animal Crossing it was kind of hard to show neck movement, so they just left it out. I will say there's not a lot that targets your glutes, and glutes are a big problem for pain for people. And it's also not hitting your calves a lot, which stretching your calves can help with foot pain. But all in all, I think group stretching is fantastic. If you're doing no big movement in your life right now, like I kind of am, group stretching I highly recommend. There's actually prizes you can unlock from regularly doing group stretching. The last one is at doing 50 group stretches on 50 different days. So it could be a fun goal to set for yourself to do it 50 different days, and it's only like 2.5 minutes. And just see what that does for your body, doing that regular, just 2 minutes of good old movement. Alright, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give me a big thumbs up, and I would love to know what you enjoyed most about Update 2.0. It's been a while since it's come out, so we've got to see what really impacted the game. I think I still love Gyroids a lot, even though I haven't really set them up in things. But oh, all the Vine DIYs are super cool too. And of course, I do love the group stretching. I've just been a little too lazy to actually get myself up to do it, but I'm making it a goal here and now today to do the next like 45 I need to do, standing, moving, and all that. And I really do hope you have the loveliest of lovely day. I'll see you next week.